Hey guys, if you're having difficulty in pinpointing a clanking and clunking suspension noise before throwing money at new expensive parts, check out how I solved my suspension noise, and more importantly, the reasons why I think the new part failed. This is a 2004 Highlander, but this video applies to pretty much most cars on the road. Basically, when I go over a bump, make a left or right turn, or brake, I hear the metal parts clanking and clunking. I feel like something's gonna break. My next door neighbor who just sold a car to me tried to fix this suspension noise by replacing all four struts, all four sway bar links, and lower control arms and ball joints in the past 1 to 2 years, with some success, but not completely. So now his headache has become my mystery to solve. I've already fixed the massive oil leak in valve covers, replaced the passenger side windows motor, and did a bunch of maintenances that were overdue. Now, back on the suspension noise. First, I tried to push down on the front and back bumpers, but I couldn't get it to make any noise. I then pushed the car from the side in kind of a rhythmic manner, and I got it to make all sorts of loud clanking sound. But because suspensions are all connected, the noise resonates through many parts, and it wasn't obvious as to where the noise was coming from. So I lifted the front of the car on jack stands and then tried to rotate the tires forwards and backwards. Also tried to wiggle the tire at 12 o'clock and 6 o'clock positions, and then at 3 o'clock and 9 o'clock positions. But there weren't any noticeable movements or noise.
No, I'm not gonna show you.
Haha, okay, boss. So wife's gonna rotate the steering wheel all the way to the left and then to the right, back and forth, while I check for any noise and damage under the car.
Okay, turn. A little bit faster.
I don't know where the clicking noise is coming from, but this is my first clue that something connected to the steering wheel is at least one of the noise sources. At this point, I'm suspecting any original rubber bushings that are 18 years old could be falling apart. I tried to pry the entire sway bar with a crowbar, but nothing was budging. So I'm gonna take out these sway bar bushings to check it out.
Okay, so for the back one, I'm able to get the ratchet and a long socket in there like that. Okay, I need my two hands, but actually I was very surprised that bolt was not very tight. I was able to loosen it with hardly any effort. Okay. For this front one, the short socket fits right in there. Let me see if this is loose also. Yeah, it didn't take much force at all. I'm trying the deep socket. Maybe the deep socket works better here. Okay, I think it's loosened enough. Same bolt as the last one. Okay, just needed to push up on both sides. That's what bracket looks like, at least the top one. So looks like the bottom one's loose also. Let's look at the bushing. Actually, the bushing seems to be in good shape.
Oops, lower bracket fell. The rubber bushing has a split which you can open up to pull it out. Wow, this 18-year-old rubber bushing is holding up very well. However, it's easy to replace, so I ordered a set of bushings from Amazon, but they never arrived, and Amazon lost track of it.
On the back bolt, you could access it using a long socket and maybe a universal joint. Then you can get enough height to get your ratchet in there. Front one, you can just get to it, I don't want to say quite easily, but easily compared to the back one, okay? And then you can get your ratchet on top of it. Good thing I took this out and make this move. Listen for the sound. You guys hear the sound? And the sound is actually coming from right there. You see that move up and down? So it's coming right from there. This is going up and down. Not sure why there's that gap. Okay, now this is on the driver's side.
Basically, there is a bolt at the top and the bottom on the sway bar links, and both have slight free play on both sides of the sway links.
And then
And
right
that's where the
there,
loudest clanking noise is coming from. So they're gonna have to be replaced.
I just ordered a new set.
So while waiting for parts to arrive, I tried to tighten the sway bar link bolts just in case they were loose, but they were already very tight. So here are a couple of problems that I noticed. First, with this cheap one, this rubber cover just flips off and you can see the grease in there. So I don't think this is gonna seal the grease too well, and it could actually leak out. So I think this is really poor design. The new one is kind of completely enclosed and the rubber actually goes inside the metal. So I think the Detroit axle design is much better. So in this one, I don't even know why they have this for grease, because you can just flip it open and grease it right in there. So to me, this is really bad design. The other one is, you see this bolt? It goes on there, and it's supposed to tightly hold this, right? The problem is there's no bushing inside here to keep this stable. So the hole already that it goes to is slightly larger than this bolt. So there's a little bit of free play in there. And I don't know if it's the problem of that sway bar hole getting bigger, or the other problem that I see is you see all these kind of teeth marks here. They're all flattened now. So I think what's happening is these teeth marks here are supposed to go in there and tighten, and they're gonna grab onto the metal so that they don't move easily. But because they're all kind of worn out, you know, it's gonna allow easy movement once the enough weight and force is applied. So check the new one. I'll show you the picture of the new one. It's got the same design. I don't know, maybe that's why the aftermarket sway bar links are failing quickly, because once these teeth wears out, you can't tighten it enough and it'll still cause the movement. I got the sway bar link, and I just wasn't sure if they greased it. So I just loosened it and took this out, and I can see the grease right there, and I can see the grease in there. This is the one I just took out. Overall, they're about same size. Okay, so I'm gonna put this back in. Okay, so the sway bar hole is a little bit high, so I'm gonna have to pull that down. I have to push this down a bit. Okay, just gonna get a few turns started there. So to do this, you want to hold the inside nut with 18 millimeter box wrench, but I don't have it, so I'm using a crescent wrench to hold the inside nut. But the crescent wrench is just slightly too thick, and by the time I tightened the outer bolt, the crescent wrench was getting stuck. So when I did the passenger side, I used a little bit skinnier 19 millimeter box wrench, and that worked just fine. The removal installation is identical on the passenger side, so I'll skip that part of the video. Here's the moment of truth. Will it pass my rock the boat test? Yes, absolutely. No clicking, no clanking, no clunking. Two shops suggested to replace the struts at $500 to $600 estimate, but all it took was just $30 parts with 2-hour diagnostics and 30 minutes of repair. While at it, I also checked on the rear sway bar links since they were all replaced at the same time. So far, the rear ones are holding up okay. However, note that the rear sway bar links are tiny compared to the front ones. Hope this video helped. Please like and subscribe, and I'll see you guys next time with more DIY videos.